back to my channel. As you must have already read by the title, like what we are going to discuss about and which example we are going to take in this today's video. Of course, we are going to look out one example on combined entry. It is a critical one, but if you will listen it carefully, understand it, then everything you will be able to figure it out. Now, before we start with an example on this combined entry, I will in short, I will explain you what is combined entry. What happens in combined entry? More than one accounts are debited or credited. Like in a single entry system, what we used to do, like I will give you an example of single entry system and also one small short example of combined entry. In single entry, we use how the transaction was, like Mr. Ram started business with cash rupees 1 lakh. So what was the journal entry for this? Cash account debit to capital account credit. So this is called as single entry system. Now in combined entry system, how this transaction will work? Same transaction we will take. Mr. Ram started business with cash rupees 1 lakh and with goods rupees 2000. So here two accounts are going to get the debit effect and one account is going to get the credit effect. This is called as combined entry. Now we will see how this journal entry is formed in combined entry. First account will be the cash account debit because the cash has came into the business, and another will be the goods. So with goods we have started the business, so goods account is also going to get the debit effect and the credit effect is going to get capital account. So this is how combined entry is created and we have to understand it. Okay. So how you can understand this? You have to carefully read all the transactions while solving the journal entry. If it is single entry, then you have to post it according to single entry system. If it is double entry, then you have to post it according to double entry system. So without any further delay, we will get into the example, understand it. With an example, you will find it more easier. So here are the transactions of combined entry. So let's see. First transaction is on June 2011. Started business with cash rupees 2 lakhs. Goods worth rupees 10,000 and computer rupees 20,000. So this is these all are the transactions that have combined entries. That is, two accounts are going to get debit effect and two accounts are going to get the credit effect. But it depends on the transactions. So let's see the other transaction. Paid into Dena Bank rupees 1 lakh. Okay. Next, on 8th June, bought goods on credit from Mona rupees 8,000 at 6% trade discount. So what we will do first, we will read out all the transactions and we will frame working notes of the critical transactions. Like now let's just see this trade discount transaction. We have to make working note of this. So we will write it after we complete all the transactions reading out. Before I start explaining you all these transactions, like how they are recorded, how to calculate this trade discount, we will first read out all the transactions and then we will write down working note of all the critical transactions like this trade discount and much more to come. We will write working notes of it afterwards, but before that we will read all the transactions. So let's take the other one. On 12th June, sold goods to Naina of rupees 8,000 at 5% trade discount. On 14th June, goods worth rupees 1,050 burnt by fire. 18th June, received cash of rupees 7,500 from Naina in full settlement of her account. Now here in full settlement of her account is that Mona has made her payment in a complete form. So no amount is left with her. So this is called as in full settlement of her account. That is, she has made the entire payment, whatever she was owing to somebody or us, to Mr. Bindra, sorry. So this all transactions are of Mr. Bindra. Here I have written down Sorry, I didn't read the title, but all these transactions are of Mr. Bindra. So we have to record all these transactions in a journal of Mr. Bindra. So let's take the other example. On 24th June, paid cash of rupees 7,400 to Mona in full settlement of her account. Last 29th June, sold goods worth rupees 10,000 to Divakar, who paid us rupees 6,000 on account. Now here I've sorted out some critical transactions. So this is going to be a little harder one example than the simple one which we have seen in the first video of this new chapter. So before we get to solve the solution of this, we will firstly frame the working notes of the transactions that we have finding it critical. So let's see which is the critical one. Here the 8th one. Now Mr. Bindra bought goods on credit from Mona. What was the cost of goods? Rupees 8,000. But Mona sold goods to us, that is Mr. Bindra, at 6% trade discount. So we have to find out the actual price of goods that we have purchased from Mona. Okay, so I will write down here. So let's start. The 8th transaction, that is on June 8th. I'll write here the date. Remember, you have to frame working notes of the transactions that have discount or any percentage you have to calculate in some of the transactions. You have to make working note before solving the actual solution. So here Mr. Bindra bought goods on credit from Mona rupees 8,000. So the actual price of the goods were rupees 8,000, but Mr. Bindra bought it on credit and he brought goods on trade discount, that is of 6%. So here we have to calculate 6% on rupees 8,000. So let's calculate 8,000 into 6 divided by 100. Okay. Out of 100%, 6% of discount was allowed to Mr. Bindra. So here we have received discount. So let's calculate. Now all the zeros will get cancelled over here. 80 into 6, that is 480. Okay. But this is not the actual price. This is just the 6%. This is the total discount that is being allowed to us by Mona. So from actual price of goods, that is from rupees 8,000, you have to minus this discount. I'll write here in the bracket discount. So minus it from the actual price. So the actual price is 7,520. So this is the actual price. That is, Mr. Bindra purchased goods from Mona of rupees 7,520. So rupees 4,080 is the discount that is allowed to Mr. Bindra by Mona. Okay. So this is how you have to frame working note of the transactions that we have to find out any percentage or any account that has to be settled or much more. Okay. So in this we have found out the percentage of the discount that is being allowed to us. So let's take the other example. Here, sold goods to Naina of rupees 8,000 at 5% trade discount. Now here we have that is Mr. Bindra, have sold goods to Naina at 5% trade discount. So the actual price is 8,000 and we have to calculate trade discount of 5%. That is, we have allowed 5% trade discount to Naina. So here we have to calculate the actual price where the goods are being sold. So let's take the other. I'll write down here on June 12th. June 12th. I don't have place over here, so I'm writing it down here. What is the actual price? 8,000. The percentage of the discount allowed is 5% divided by 100. So calculated, 5% is 400. So 400 rupees discount is being allowed to Naina. Okay. Now this is the total discount. But from actual price we have to deduct the discount. So we will get the exact amount that we have sold goods to Naina. So let's calculate. 8,000 minus 400, that is 7,600. So this is the actual price of goods being sold to Naina. Okay. So this is how we write the working notes. Next, this is next transaction. On 18 June, received cash of rupees 7,500 from Naina in full settlement of her account. Now here Naina has made the complete payment of the amount that she has purchased goods from us. So let's see the previous transaction. Here we sold goods to Naina of rupees 8,000 at 5% trade discount. So here we calculated, here 7,600 was the actual price of the goods that we sold to Naina. But out of 7,600, Naina paid rupees 7,500 of the goods that she purchased from us. So how much amount is left behind which we discounted? Okay, the amount which is being left, that is the actual discount we have allowed to her. So let's calculate that. On June 18th year. So what was the actual price? 7,600 was the actual price of goods that we sold to Naina. So let's write here 7,600 was the actual price, but out of 7,600, Naina paid rupees 7,500 in full settlement of her account. That is, she made the entire payment. So we have to minus 7,500 from rupees 7,600. 7,500 minus 100 is the discount allowed to Naina. Okay. There is a difference between trade discount and discount. Trade discount is the discount that we allow at the time of purchasing or selling. But here, after the payment of the goods that we have purchased on credit or on cash basis, at that time what amount we are receiving out of the actual amount. So the amount which is deducted here, 100 rupees is the discount allowed. So this is the actual discount we have allowed to her, that is Naina, at the time of payment. Okay, so this is the difference between trade discount and discount. So don't get confused over here. Trade discount is at the time of purchasing and selling, and the actual discount is at the time of actual actual payment. Okay. Next, paid cash of rupees 7,400 to Mona in full settlement of her account. Now, this transaction is related to the 8th transactions. As on 8th June, we bought goods on credit from Mona of rupees 8,000, but at 6% trade discount. So the actual price of goods that we bought was rupees 7,520, but at the time of payment we just paid rupees 7,400 to Mona. So we have to calculate the actual discount that we have received from Mona. So let's calculate over here. June 24th. So what was the actual price? 7,520. How much we paid to Mona? 7,400. This is the actual price. And we have to calculate 20 and 1. So rupees 120 is the discount that we have received from Mona. So this is how the discount is allowed and received. Okay. Next, sold goods worth rupees 10,000 to Divakar, who paid us rupees 6,000 on account. Now here, just carefully look at the transaction. What amount of goods we sold to Divakar of rupees 10,000. So out of 10,000, he just paid rupees 6,000 on account, not in cash, on account. So here, previously what he did, purchased goods of rupees 10,000 on credit, because no cash word is being reflected over here. That is, this transaction is on credit basis. Okay. But at the time of payment, Divakar paid rupees 6,000 on account out of 10,000. So 4,000 is the amount that we have given as a rebate or a discount to him. Okay. Because as we already know, this is the transaction on credit basis. After the completion of credit period, he just paid 6,000. So the 4,000 amount we have discounted it. So that is loss. That is the loss of Mr. Bindra's company or any industry. So I will write down over here. Here on June 29th, Divakar, we sold goods to Divakar rupees 10,000, out of which he just paid rupees 6,000. So this transaction we have to see, it is on credit basis or cash basis. Now here what we did, previously we sold goods of rupees 10,000 to Divakar. That must be on credit basis because no payment is being made. So that is why we have to consider this transaction as credit. But at the time of payment, he just paid rupees 6,000 on account. So here we have to find out how much amount is being left with Divakar to be paid to Mr. Bindra. So in this working note, what is the actual price of the goods we sold? Rupees 10,000, and out of 10,000 only 6,000 rupees was paid by Divakar. So the left amount with Divakar is rupees 4,000 that he has to pay after the credit period completion. So let's see the actual solution. The first transaction, started business with cash rupees 2 lakh, goods worth rupees 10,000 and computer rupees 20,000. So Mr. Bindra started business with cash rupees 2 lakhs, also goods worth rupees 10,000 and with computer rupees 20,000. So this is how the combined entry looks like. So we will post it in the journal. What's the date? 2011 June 1st. So we have to record. First, Mr. Bindra invested money in the business to start the business. So first account will be cash account because he has invested the money. Debit what comes in cash account. Debit. What is the amount? 2 lakhs. Ledger filo nil. 2 lakhs. Okay. But also he has started business with goods worth rupees 10,000. So goods are also going to get the debit effect because debit what comes in is the rule for it. Real accounts rule. Goods account rupees 10,000. And also with computer. So computer account also debit. Worth rupees 20,000. Okay. And what is going to get the credit effect? Of course the capital account is going to get the credit effect because we have started the business with all this that is cash, goods, computer. So we have invested all these things in the form of capital. So capital is the credit effect or the giver. So to capital, all these things are invested in the form of capital. So we are giving capital the credit effect. So make the total of it. All this total, it is 2,30,000. So I'll write here 2,30,000. Okay. So this is how the first transaction works. Next, on 4th June, paid into Dena Bank rupees 1 lakh. So let's write the date here. Now, Mr. Bindra paid into Dena Bank. So who is the receiver over here? Dena Bank. So Dena Bank is a personal account. So the rule for personal account, debit the receiver. So that Dena Bank is going to get the debit effect. Dena Bank account debit. Amount rupees 1 lakh. And what we have paid to Dena Bank? Of course cash. So cash account is going to get the credit effect. Credit what goes out. How much? 1 lakh. Okay. This is how the second transaction also works. Next. Bought goods on credit from Mona rupees 8,000 at 6% trade discount. Now here we have to write down the actual amount of goods that we bought from Mona. That is 7,520 is the actual price of the goods we bought from Mona. So we have to write down over here on 8th June. Purchases account because we have purchased goods. You can write goods account, but the correct way of writing is purchases account debit because purchases account is going to get the debit effect. That is why we have to write down the purchases account. Now why it is getting debit effect? Since we have purchased goods on credit, it is loss for us, that is loss for Mr. Bindra because he has bought goods on credit and after completion of the credit period he has to pay the amount. So that is a loss. So it is getting the debit effect. What is the actual price? 7,520 because trade discount is being allowed to us. Now here goods are bought on credit from Mona. Who has given the credit? Miss Mona has given the credit, so her name will appear over here. Previously also we have studied that when any transaction is made on credit, the name of the person who has allowed credit, the name of that person will appear in the transaction or in the entry. So here Mona has given the credit to us, that is to Mr. Bindra. So to Mona account. And even here rule is also being applied. Since Mona is a natural person, so personal account is related to Mona. What is the rule for personal account? Debit the receiver and credit the giver. Since she has given credit to Mr. Bindra, so she is the giver. Credit the giver. That is why credit effect is being given to Mona's account. So what is the amount? 7,520. Next transaction. Sold goods to Naina of rupees 8,000 at 5% trade discount. Now here we have, that is Mr. Bindra has sold goods to Naina of rupees 8,000 at 5% trade discount. So in working note we have already calculated the actual amount of the goods that we sold to Naina. What is the actual price? 7,600 is the actual price. So we will write here on 12th June. Naina's account debit. Why Naina's account is debited? Since Naina is the receiver of the goods, so she is going to get the debit effect. What is the price? 7,600. What we have made? Sales. Now sales is a nominal account and it is a gain for Mr. Bindra, so sales account is going to get the credit effect, 7,600. So now till here you have got how the transactions are recorded in a journal, but do not forget to mention narration after each transactions. Now here I did the same mistake, so you shouldn't commit that mistake in your exams, in your papers. So I will make you remind that narration is very important after every transaction. So we will write it from the first transaction being started business with cash, goods and computer. Okay, now here I did not have place, so I have to write it down like that. But the mistake which I committed over here, you shouldn't do this. I purposely did this mistake so that you will get to know that something is missing in this. So that realization should come within from you. So that is why I committed this mistake. But remember, narration is very important after every transaction. Okay, on this in the second transaction, now here Dena Bank account debit and cash. Now what is the transaction? We paid into Dena Bank rupees 1 lakh. So being cash deposited in bank. So this is the narration for it. Next, on 8 June, bought goods on credit from Mona of rupees 8,000 at 6% trade discount. So being goods bought on credit. You can write it in the short form or you can give it in a detailed form, like at the 5% trade discount was being allowed to us and much more. But here I have written it in the short, being goods bought on credit. Next, sold goods to Naina of rupees 8,000 at 5% trade discount. Now here what will be the narration? Being goods sold to Naina 5% trade discount. So this is how you can write down in detail the narration of the transaction. So here this is how I've written. Okay. You can also give detailed narration, or if you would like to give it in a small form describing the narration, that will be also valid for it. Another one, goods worth rupees 1050 burnt by fire. Now here this is the loss of Mr. Bindra. So we will write here on 14th June, loss by fire account. Now goods are being destroyed by fire, so loss by fire account will get the debit effect. Why debit effect? This is the loss. Nominal account represents loss by fire account. So rule for nominal account, debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. But here Mr. Bindra has incurred loss, that is goods are burnt by fire, so loss by fire account is debited. What is the amount? 1050. Another one, what is being burnt? Goods are being burnt. That is what is going to get the credit effect? Goods destroyed by fire. That is goods are gone out of the business. They are destroyed by fire. So the second effect will be the goods destroyed by fire. Destroyed by fire. 1050. Narration, being goods burnt by fire. Next, received cash of rupees 7,500 from Naina in full settlement of her account. So we will write down the date. Now here we have calculated the actual amount and the discount that is being allowed to Naina from Mr. Bindra. So let's see how this actually works in the transaction. How much amount we have received? So cash account is going to get the debit effect because we have received the amount of rupees 7,500. Okay. And here, what was the actual price of the goods that we sold to Naina? That is rupees 7,600, out of which she just paid rupees 7,400. So the discount allowed was rupees 100. Now how 100? Here we have already calculated 7,600 minus 7,500, that is 100 rupees was the discount allowed to Naina. So discount allowed will get the debit effect. Discount allowed, debit. How much is the discount allowed? 100 rupees. Okay. Now why discount allowed is given the debit effect? Because this is the loss of Mr. Bindra, because he is allowing this discount to Naina. So obviously this is loss for Mr. Bindra. So discount allowed account is getting the debit effect. To Naina's account. To whom all these things are allotted? To Naina. So she is getting the credit effect. 7,600 is the actual. Now why she has got the credit effect? As she has paid the amount over here in this transaction, that is on 18th June, she paid rupees 7,500, on which 100 rupees discount was allowed. So here she is giver of the cash, that is of rupees 7,500. So she is getting the debit effect. Though the amount of goods which we sold to her was 7,600, but here in this transaction she is paying the amount, that is why she is getting the credit effect. So credit the keyword, Naina is the credit. Another transaction, paid cash of rupees 7,400 to Mona and full settlement of her account. Now here we will write down the date, 24th June. We have already calculated these things in working note. Now on June 24th, what was the actual price of the goods? 7,520. In the previous postings also we have done that. 7,520 was the actual amount of goods that we bought from Mona. But while paying to her, we just paid rupees 7,400 to Mona. So how much discount we received from her? That is 120. So let's write down over here. Now Mona's account is the debit effect. Mona's account debited how much? 7,520. Okay. Now why she is getting debit effect? Here we are making payment to her. So she is receiving the amount from Mr. Bindra. So she is debit the receiver. That is why she is getting the debit effect. Next, to discount received. How much is the discount received? 120 rupees. Okay. To cash. How much is the cash? 7,400. Now here you must be thinking why discount received and cash has got the credit effect. Since we have received discount from Mona of rupees 120, as we already know that discount received is a nominal account. What is the rule for nominal account? Debit the expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. So here Mr. Bindra has received discount, so it is a profit for him, so that is why he has got the discount received, has got the credit effect. And cash has got the credit effect because Mr. Bindra is paying the amount that he has bought goods from Mona on credit, and that after the completion of credit period he is paying the amount to Mona of worth rupees 7,400. So that is why cash is going out from Mr. Bindra. So cash account has got the credit effect. Credit what goes out. Narration for this transaction being discount received and amount paid. Okay. You can write your own narration. No need to copy it down from your textbooks references. You can frame your own narrations. Just what is the difference here? Here we have got discount and here we have allowed discount. So narration doesn't differ here. In previous transaction, what will be the narration? Being cash received and discount allowed. So as here in this transaction we made sales, and in this transaction also we have got amount from Naina and discount was allowed. So that is how the narration will work over here. Similarly, in the another transaction we got the discount allowed, we received discount and paid the amount that we bought goods on credit from Mona. Now no difference is noted down here, just here we have received discount, and in the previous transaction here we have allowed discount to Naina. Not much more difference, just received and allowed. We have to figure out these things. Last transaction, sold goods worth rupees 10,000 to Divakar, who paid us rupees 6,000 on account. So on 29 June we received cash of rupees 6,000. So cash account debit. What is the amount? 6,000. But What is the total amount of goods? That is 10,000, out of which only 6,000 is being received. But the remaining amount of rupees 4,000 is being left with Divakar. So he is the receiver of that amount. So Divakar account debit. Because after some time he has to pay that amount. So 4,000. Why he is getting the debit effect? Because the 4,000 amount is the credit amount we have still allotted to him. So this amount is being kept with him. That is why he is getting the debit effect. Debit the receiver. He is still receiving that amount. So that is why debit effect. And 2, sales account. Why sales account? Because we have made sales over here. That is why sales account of rupees 10,000. This is the actual sales we made. Narration being goods sold in cash and credit. Because half amount is being paid and half amount is being allotted as credit. So being goods sold in cash and credit. Now here we have to make the total of debit and credit amounts. So let's just make the total of debit and credit amounts. So this is the total of debit and credit amounts. Now remember, this should equal to each other. That is, debit should equal to credit and credit should equal to debit. Then only you can verify that all the transactions are recorded accurately and appropriately. This is the only thing that will give you the verification of the transactions that you have recorded properly or not. So this is how transactions are recorded and journalized. So that's the end of our today's example. I hope you all understood it, how we solved it, and you got what is combined entry. So from next video onwards, we are going to begin with our new chapter. And in this today's chapter, this was our last example. It was a critical one. I told you previously that one example we are going to take off an easier one, and this one is going to be a little tougher one. So here in this today's video, it is an end of the chapter journal, and from next video onwards we are going to begin the new chapter. So stay tuned for that video. If you like this today's video, then do hit that like button, share with your friends, with your classmates, comment down your suggestions, your queries regarding this video and other previous videos if you have any, and subscribe to my channel if you are new. Click that bell icon to get all the new notifications of all my new videos. Till then, goodbye.